Joe Biden's problems just got worse. His son Hunter getting indicted on 3 gun charges. It's relying on a federal form 3 years ago while cracked out of his mind. And it's the same firearm that got tossed out in a garbage can, which he then blamed on illegals. If convicted, Hunter could face up to 25 years in the slammer. And prosecutors hint there could be more charges on the way. It's a real head scratcher if you take Joe's word that his son has done nothing wrong.
First of all, my son's done nothing wrong. I trust him. I have faith in him. And it impacts my presidency by making me feel proud of him. This thing about a gun, I didn't know anything about it. I have great confidence in my son. I love him, and he's on the straight and narrow, and he has been for a couple of years now, and I'm just so proud of him.
Democrats are relieved that Hunter's gun charges don't have anything to do with Joe Biden yet.
We shouldn't take delight in other people's misfortunes, but we have to have a rule of law, and when people commit crimes, then the consequences follow.
The Justice Department charges have nothing to do with the president.
Hunter Biden is a private citizen. He is not the president of the United States.
It sounds like a prosecutor appointed by Donald Trump, kept by Joe Biden to investigate his own son, has found that there's no wrongdoing that Joe Biden did. So, great.
Tell that to Fang Fang. Joe Biden's up.
You know, it's not a bad thing that they're saying that, honestly. And hear me out, because I know some of you are like turning your nose up. What are you talking about? Joe's corrupt. Hear me out. I want Joe on the ticket. See, what I feel is beginning to happen, and I may make an entire video on this, is they are setting Joe up to get him out of office, right? And there's reasons as to why I feel that, which is why I'm thinking about making an entire video on it. But I don't want anybody else on that ticket but Joe. Joe and Kamala. I don't want them to try to sweep all of this under the rug and push in some other Democrat and try to polish it all up and say, look, guys, we got to somebody new, right? No. We have Joe beat. So I want Joe on the ticket. So let Democrats run with this. Joe's done nothing wrong. He's good to go. He's great. He can still run another 4 years. Let them keep pushing that. Have at it. Because I want Joe on the ticket. Because we have Joe beat. You can look at the polls. You can check social media. I've shown you guys the evidence in some of these video compilations that I've put together. So, yeah. But how are you guys feeling? Let me know.
Another problem that's not named Hunter is his age. And it looks like Democrats can't avoid that one either.
Well, age is a relative thing, as we all know. Let's be in the very positive vein about age. It is about judgment, and that's what a president needs to have. Joe Biden knows his why.
The conclusion that people draw is, I think, off base. When people say to me, well, he's old, yeah, that's right, but look at what he's gotten done. And then, if that's not enough for you, look at the alternative.
The White House gets frustrated with the media for bringing it up, but they're not going to stop. It's a water cooler issue with the public. It just is.
All right, Judge, gun charge.
Yeah, he's good to go. He's good. Hey, there's no issues with Joe Biden, guys. I can't even say that seriously. I got to get better at that. I got to practice that. I'm going to have to stand in front of the mirror. There's no issues with Joe Biden. I'm sorry. It's just laughable even saying it. Excuse me. Oh, man. I can't even say that straight without laughing. Holy cow. I'm going to have to practice that, all right? Because I got to start pushing the message with the media. Joe Biden is good, okay? We want Joe Biden on the ticket. He's great. He's good to go.
Charges. Is this all there is, or is there more to come?
There is definitely more to come. First of all, the walls are closing in on Joe Biden right now. The dominoes have started to fall. We talked about this with David Ignatius, the opinion piece in the Washington Post. We knew that it was going to start falling apart. And then we have Nancy Pelosi, who's a very smart woman who is able to say very clearly that, Joe Biden is the greatest, Kamala is the greatest. And instead, she refuses to say that Kamala Harris is the best running mate for Joe Biden. OK, and then you've got Mika Brzezinski actually saying this morning that this has now become a real serious discussion about Joe's age and his mental acuity. OK, but now we've got the First time in American history that a president's son has been indicted. He's been indicted for something that is very much a provable crime. It is a matter of record, the public record. He has made admissions in the book. 3 counts to this indictment, adding up to 25 years. However, those 25 years, if he were to be convicted of all 3, lying on the form, lying to the person he bought the gun from, and actually possessing the gun while he was under the influence of drugs, the sentences would be run concurrently. That means he's never going to get 25 years. And as a first offender, it's probably not going to be anything, even near the highest charge or the lowest, which is 5 years. However, what is stunning about all this is that there was absolutely nothing preventing this indictment from being issued 5 years ago or 4 years and 11 months ago. The fact that David Weiss now has special prosecutor status hasn't given him any additional powers that he didn't already have, because this indictment is in Delaware, where Hunter lives, where the crime was committed. And David Weiss has always had the power in that particular place. Now, the whistleblowers are the ones who really open this thing up to us, because Joe Biden has been lying, and you actually do get it. It's his son. He loves him. My son has done nothing wrong. We pretty much expect every parent to say that kind of thing. But this is not the end of it by any stretch of the imagination. This is one count that is just the door opener. And what will come now, given the you see what's happening with the press. Now what we've got are even Democrats like Nancy Pelosi kind of saying, who knows, Mika Brzezinski, there's a real serious discussion. The floodwaters are coming in. The next will be on the tax indictment, okay? You cannot do an indictment of the taxes and Hunter Biden without investigating Joe. And as they investigate Joe, more information is going to come out as they investigate Hunter, more will come out about Joe. Now, Weiss saying that it was not his decision, whistleblowers coming forward. We've got everything now in a situation where this thing is all damn the torpedoes, the Bidens are going down. We talked about this yesterday. It's just a question of when.
All right, Dana, now on to Joe.
And that win shouldn't be until next summer, next fall, right? In my humble opinion, and I've stated this time and time again in my reasoning as to why I don't want them pushing anybody else out. I want Joe, right? Stand on it. Stand on it. Democrats had pushed Joe out and said he was this great guy and all of this and that, so stand on it, right? I really wanted to get an interview in with the likes of Matt Gaetz and some other folks. I may start pushing towards some of those things here in the near future. And one of my biggest questions is going to be, what's your strategy with this? I would like to hear some type of strategy rather than just, oh yeah, we're going all in, just going for it, throwing whatever and seeing what sticks. Like, no, have some strategy here. We see Democrats have strategy. As much as we, talk about some of the lower level Democrats, seeming a little, what's a nice way to say it? Lights on, but nobody's home. The head, right? The people at the very top, these people are playing chess. They see what's coming down the pipeline, which is why I think they're pushing so hard on a lot of these different issues. One being Uncle Trump. They see that Uncle Trump is garnering more and more support the harder they've pushed. They've tried to, smear him, with simple words, right? Didn't work. Oh, he's been impeached and yada, yada, yada. He's a terrible person. He's a ism-ness and faux that and everything else. And none of it worked, right? None of it worked. He came through still standing. So now, well, let's throw him in jail. Let's get him some charges on him. That'll take him down. Nope, he's still building even more support. Hey, bring even more charges. Throw everything at him. We're going to get something that's going to stick, right? And I think that tells a story in and of itself that they see what's coming. Trump is going to be the next president. And I don't know if I want to tell y'all this yet because I really want it to be a surprise. I have a reason as to why I just said that, right? I don't have any hard evidence. This is all speculation, right? This is just my opinion. But I've got something interesting that I will drop later on as to why I feel and believe, or another reason, I guess I should say, Uncle Trump will be the next president. So stay tuned to the channel, all right? I got something dropping later on that's gonna... You're not going to want to miss it. It's jaw-dropping, okay? it is jaw-dropping. But like I said, if they felt they could beat Uncle Trump, they would just let him run and beat him in the race and just be done with him. And that'll be the end of Trump's story, right? Because we all know that if Trump lost in, spectacular fashion, which they claim he would, right? That would be the end of Trump. That would be the end. Sayonara. I even being as big of a fan of Trump as I am, I don't think he could withstand that, right? So if you felt you could beat him, go ahead and beat him. But they know they can't, in my humble opinion.
Oh, the cat is no longer on the roof.
Where's he now?
It's in a shoebox, getting ready for burial in the backyard.
Oh, already?
Oh. And I think we're seeing the bat signal. We're seeing the bat signal go out to everybody. It's okay to talk about it.
Yeah, they've had that terrible, no good, very bad week this week. And it started, I think, on Sunday in Vietnam when the president gave the press conference that was incoherent. Monday, he got slammed for being in Alaska on 9/11. Tuesday, the David Ignatius column post, which basically gives the green light to the establishment to open the floodgates. And now you have on Thursday the inflation report and a Hunter indictment. I'd say that's a pretty bad week.
Yeah.
And then, so my question is, I'm interested in the legal front as to what's next, but also for me politically, what's next. So now you have Joe Biden, who will probably go to the beach this weekend, right? Or somewhere, maybe Camp David. He'll be with his family. And does he start to make the decision? Does anybody start to talk to him about what we are actually seeing? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to hear it. Maybe no one in his circle is able to tell him directly. Maybe that's why these messages are coming from outside, and someone could say, sir, we really need to have a serious conversation. And does it open up a position where Joe Biden would say, I've accomplished so much. Look at all I've done. I've done what I said I would do. My son is being hunted by the Republicans, and it's unfair, and he's in recovery, and I love him, and I'm going to pardon him, and I'm going to step down from running for re-election. That is a real possibility and something that would be amazing to cover. It also could be completely untrue.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you could see Gavin Newsom's grinning teeth from the International Space Station.
Because of the whitening?
Yeah. No, because Biden...
He might not jump. I'll tell you why. I don't know if he wants to leapfrog a black female VP. He might keep his powder dry until 2028. Remember, if Trump wins, it's only one term. And let's be honest, if Trump wins the revenge tour, it's going to be tough for a Republican to win after that. So Gavin could just keep his powder dry and wait. So I'm not sure he's jumping in. And I'm also not sure Biden's going down. He's definitely heading down, but he's not going down without a fight. This is Joe Biden we're talking about, the stubbornest man in Washington, D.C. It's going to get ugly. So Weiss is his pocket boy. He's still protecting Hunter. I don't think he's going to serve a day in jail on the guns. I think they're just going to drag it out. It's a charge not connected to the president. And they don't often prosecute this because it's really hard to prove, because most people don't confess to being on drugs and buying guns. Only Hunter is dumb enough to pull that off. So you're right, though. Now everyone says it's okay to talk about Joe Biden. But they don't know what to say. Because in the Democratic Party, you have to say the same thing as everybody else. If you don't say the same thing as everybody else, you're ostracized. So everyone's kind of feeling around in the dark. Is it okay if we talk badly about Kamala? Is it all right if we mention Joe Biden's age? And it's fun to watch because usually they're so militantly disciplined in their messaging. They're spazzing, and it's very entertaining. The bank records are where it's going to be. They're going to go after Hunter's and Joe's, but the offshore is where the action is. You can move money from an offshore account to an offshore account. IRS has no clue. Comer's not going to know. Not even the IRS whistleblowers are going to find it. So you got to find the offshore.
Oh, I wish I knew that earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. Tulsi, I think the real fear is not that Joe is incapacitated. They don't care as long as he wins. They don't care if he's, a vegetable. They fear he's going to lose, especially with impeachment looming. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is even bigger than Joe Biden. That this is why we're seeing what we're seeing. Is they're saying, well, this guy could actually really lose, which means the Democrat elite, the power elite, they lose. And so this is why you're starting to see a little bit of this transition here. Will it be Kamala Harris? Will it be somebody else? But one thing that I thought was interesting is, people are talking about Biden's accomplishments. And in that Ignatius piece, he said, Biden's accomplished so much. He's done all these things. His greatest accomplishment was that he beat Donald Trump.
Right.
That was like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then you have Hillary saying, well, just look at what Joe Biden's gotten done. Well, when we actually look at what he's gotten done, the reality is our country is worse off now than when Joe Biden took office. And there's a whole laundry list of things that we can get into. I've wrote down about 10 of them without even scratching the surface. But most seriously, he's gotten us into a new Cold War and a hot proxy war with Russia that has increased the likelihood of nuclear catastrophe. We just saw how he has pushed Russia and North Korea directly into each other's arms, increasing the threat coming from North Korea directly to the American people and our national security. Our borders have been handed over to the cartels. Our cities have been handed over to the criminals. Parents' rights are being threatened with regard to their child's education. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's not a hard argument to make to voters about why a Joe Biden presidency, or frankly, any of the Democrats they could pick to replace him, could end up pushing our country to a place that is dangerously beyond repair.
Facts. I mean, really, the only argument you actually need against Joe is your pockets. That's all you need to say. How your pockets feeling? As a matter of fact, I can't remember if I shared the video with you guys or if I just came across it and watched it myself. I can't remember. I've made so many videos at this point. Sheesh. But there have been several people now, celebrities, right? Black celebrities. And I put it in air quotations because what exactly is a celebrity? What's actually the definition of a celebrity? Anyway, that have come out and said, when Donald Trump was in office, I didn't have broke friends. I didn't have people coming to me begging for money. Now that Biden's in office, they're all back. There's been several black celebrities that have said that, right? So that literally is the only argument you need. You can go on, of course, but that's the only argument you need. Your pockets. How that grocery bill looking? That new car you need because yours is on its last legs. How are the prospects of you purchasing that new car looking? Huh? How's it looking? Not looking too good, huh? Check the price of that car and the payments. Ooh, boy. With the groceries and everything else, oh my goodness. So that's the only argument you need. But, I think Judge Janine is correct in saying that I don't think Hunter's going to get, the maximum penalty of 25 years or whatever it is. Honestly, I would say he might get 2 years, if that. And even then, Joe will probably pardon him. Which, how do you guys feel that would look to the nation? I think he would have to step down at that point. I don't want him to. But, yeah. I think that would look pretty terrible. It would really expose the Democrats if they pardoned him, really, really expose them. But hey, I'm just the guy who makes YouTube videos. So y'all let me know how y'all feeling in the comment section below. Do you guys feel Hunter is going down for any serious amount of time? Like I said, if I had to guess, I'd say they're going to give him a year and a half. Year and a half. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top. Year and a half. They're going to find a way to stretch it out, right? And hopefully, lose public interest. But I think we're beyond the era of being able to lose public interest and it die off, a story die off completely. Because as soon as the verdict comes down, it's going to be a massive story all over again because of the advent of social media and how quickly things are fired out, across the internet. So I don't think that strategy is going to work. I do think they will employ that strategy, to stretch it out as long as we possibly can, drag it along, slow walk the whole thing. And and try to do it in silence kind of thing. You know, hey, wink, wink. Hey, just sit down for a year and a half, and, you know, we'll call it a day. You know, but hey, what do y'all think? Let me know. Peace and love. I'm out.